What's going on, guys? It's Nimbus, formerly known as West, and on my channel I do the most simple, straightforward, no BS FL Studio and Pro Tools tutorials. Today I'm going to walk you through setting up FL Studio to record audio for your song. With that being said, let's get straight into it. Upon opening FL Studio, you're going to be greeted with the playlist. If you're not, you can click this button over here, which enables and disables playlist view. First thing we're going to do is actually drag in our beat that we have downloaded from YouTube or any other platform. I have this downloaded. Just going to drag it in to the playlist. All you do is click and drag it in to your playlist from your Finder, or if you're on Windows, the Explorer window. Wherever your beat's downloaded, just drag it in here. We're going to line it up to the top left-hand corner. And after that, make sure that it's on song mode, because if it's on pattern mode, it's going to be playing from the sequence, which we're not going to be using today. This is more for making beats from scratch, programming drums, things like that. So once this beat's dragged in, you're going to hit song mode and then hit play. If you're getting signal, that's a great sign. That means your audio interface is set up correctly. And if you're not getting audio, then you're going to want to go into options, audio settings, and make sure that your device is selected. So for me, I have it on default, which automatically selects my Scarlett. If you don't have this option, or if it's not working, make sure you select your interface manually. Now that we have audio, we're going to hit play, and we're going to find the tempo of the beat. Hopefully wherever you got the beat from, the guy who made it told you the BPM, but if not, we're going to use a website, and in this case it's taptempo.io, but any Taptempo app or website works just fine. Go into FL Studio, hit play, and then we're going to tap along. The more taps you give it on the website, the more accurate the average is going to be. So I just got 149. And we're going to go up to this. The default tempo is always 130 on FL Studio, but this is the tempo selection tool. And we're going to click and drag it up to 149, which is what we just got. What that does is it sets the grid to 149 BPM relative to the speed of the cursor moving. You don't really need to understand this concept, but it is important to set the tempo appropriately. Now, I always like to trim off the beginning of the beat, because as you can see, there's this blank space, and it kind of it makes the rest of the beats within the instrumental not lined up with the grid. So to fix that, you're going to have the pencil tool enabled. You're going to come over here to the beginning of the beat, where these two arrows pop up, hold down Alt and drag. If you don't hold down Alt and drag, then it's going to be grid snapped, which you don't want. You want to make fine tune. We're going to cut it to right there. Now we drag it all the way in, and boom, it's lined up now. As you can see, the beats of the song are lined up with a line on the grid. So that's perfect. Now in your mixer track, which you open right here, we're going to set up the microphone to record and use effects on our voice. So we're going to click a random track. It doesn't matter, any of them work. We're going to rename this one. Main vocals. I'm going to change the color to red and hit the check mark. You don't have to rename it, but it makes it more organized and easier to follow. So I renamed track 5 to main voice. Now on here, this is the important area. You're going to click this drop down menu that says none by default, and you're going to select your microphone. For me, I have like 20 inputs, and it can get confusing, but as long as you look at your physical audio interface and where your mic is plugged in, you should know what this is. So I'm going to select input 1 because that's where my mic is. And make sure you always use the mono side. Don't use the stereo side, because if you use the stereo side, it's expecting that you have 2 microphones, and when you don't, you're basically only going to have audio on the left speaker, because that's just how it works. It's missing the right microphone basically. But here we go. We're going to select mono, input 1. Do you want to switch to external input only to avoid? You can hit either option because we're not going to be using input only, but hitting yes is a safe bet, because like it suggests, it avoids recording internal audio on this track, which would suck if it did happen. So we're going to hit yes. Hello. Boom. We're ready to go. As you can hear, my voice is doubled now. And turn that off. But if you can hear your voice in your microphone, that's perfect. If you see these levels bouncing as you speak, hello, hello, you're ready to go. And if you don't, make sure, like I said, your interface is set up correctly and the gain on your interface is turned up to an appropriate level. All right. So this button down here is how to set the track up to record. When you click it, it turns red. That means you're ready. You have to do that with the actual project too. So this record button basically means I'm ready to record on your command, which the command is the play button. It's going to record whatever you have record enabled in the mixer. So you can actually record several things at once, but we're just going to use this main vocals track. Yeah. Oh, one of the things is that when the first time you record, FL Studio asks, what would you like to record? And if you're not getting that pop-up menu, then right click this record button up here. And here it is. You can select what you want recorded. And I have all of them selected because sometimes I do record MIDI for making beats, things of that nature, but all you want to have enabled is audio. So as long as you have audio enabled, you will be good. We're going to do a test run to show you that everything's working. So hit record enable on this. Make sure this record enabled is highlighted, and then we hit play. Give me a minute, my heart's froze. When I'm with you, you got me like, whoa, yeah. As you can see, I just recorded something. I had my microphone set too low, so it's very quiet, which you can fix by raising the volume. On double clicking the audio and raising the volume. But it's important that you have your gain set appropriately. So for next time, I'd definitely want the microphone to be turned up. But hitting play is going to play the audio we just recorded. This reminds me that it's very important to add the beat into a mixer track. So we're going to double click the beat itself and put it on track 1 on the mixer by dragging this track selector to 1. Now on the mixer, your beat's going to be here. So we can rename this by right clicking it, selecting, typing in beat. Boom, the beat's there. Why is this important? Because you can adjust the fader to get an appropriate volume, because the beat's automatically going to be way louder than your voice. I'd suggest tacking down like -8 dB at least to make enough headroom for your vocals. So here. Give me a minute, girl, my heart's froze. When I'm with you, you got me like, whoa, yeah. As you can see, there's a lot more breathing room for my voice. And since we recorded on track 5, your vocals will automatically be on track 5. You can change it here, but we're going to use track 5 to record and monitor ourselves with effects, which I'm going to show you how to do right now. These are the effect slots. You're going to click slot 1 to bring in your first effect, which for me is normally this EQ. I'm not going to go into how to mix, but this is a basic setup. an EQ, then a compressor. I'm using the Fruity limiter for this, and I'm not really taking into account the specific vocal, but I'm trying to get a rough idea, and I just put a reverb on it. Of course, for this style of music, I'd want auto-tune too, but not too sure my computer's going to handle this with recording the tutorial. But after you put the effects on, you'll hear it now on your voice. So we play what we got. Give me a minute, got my voice fell. When I'm with you, you got me like, whoa, yeah. My vocals are absolute garbage, but this is showing you what it just did. It has the effects now, which you can then bypass if you don't like it. You can change it whenever you want. And if I record enable this right now, you'll hear the effects are on while I'm hearing myself sing on the beat. Hello? You hear? The reverb trails are still there, which is cool because that's how I like to monitor myself when I'm recording my voice. I even have auto-tune on, and then I can hear myself singing with the auto-tune, which helps a lot. Okay, so the next thing you'd want to do is probably repeat this process. If you want if you want to do ad-libs or something, you can do something like this. Go right click, hit file, and where it says save mixer track state as, you want to click and drag, because now you can drag the same effects we just did to any other track. For example, I can bring it to insert 6, and although it says main vox, I'm just change it to ad-libs. And now I have an ad-lib track. You're going to want to change the input to your mic. Hello. And now you're good to record ad-libs. Yeah. Yo. Yo. Yeah. What? Yeah. All right. As you can see, that worked out perfectly fine. And all you do is repeat the process over and over to make your song. If you don't want to clip anymore, hold down right click on your mouse, and when this orange thing pops up, anything you drag over will be deleted from the playlist. If you want to copy it, hold down shift, drag, boom. You can make as many copies of something as you want. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You can punch in by doing something like this, dragging off part that you don't want and then punching in. So I'll just show you that right now. Give me a minute, got my voice fell. When I'm with you, you got me like, whoa, yeah. Now I just basically punched in. I'll trim off the excess of the punch in. And this needs auto-tune for sure, but tutorial's sake, no auto-tune. That's basically it, guys. Once you build out your song, you might have a lot of tracks, you might have a heavy playlist, but using the pencil tool to drag the audio clips, you can correct the time, you can make it shorter, longer, cut stuff off, bring stuff in. And if you want a more in-depth tutorial on any specific topic, please let me know. That basically wraps it up for this tutorial. And once you're done with your song, you're going to hit File, Export, WAV or MP3. It depends on what you want. I normally go with MP3. It's going to ask you where you want to save it. Tutorial. This says tutorial. You're going to hit Save. And on these settings, I always leave them as they are. I just put it on full song. And if you change your mind, you want to WAV too, you can do that here. Once you hit start, it's going to export your whole song to wherever you had it specified. And boom, you are done. Like I said, please let me know if you guys want more tutorials. Please comment down what you want to be covered. Give me any feedback. like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you guys. See you next time.